Fortnite content creation has had many distinct eras throughout the years, from just general gameplay in the early days to challenges and goofy things later on. But to many people, there's something even more iconic: the unforgettable Machinima. Something pushed by Epic early on, but was left to rot after certain updates killed the community's way to do it easily. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Roll the intro! Well, hello there, and welcome to Snapshot, and welcome to a retrospective on one of the more niche corners of Fortnite content over the years. Machinima content, in general, has been a thing for quite a long time, and for those of you who don't know what that is, here's the exact dictionary definition. An animation technique that uses real-time video game engines and virtual environments to create cinematic productions. The first true Machinima was released all the way back in 1996, titled Diary of a Camper. It was made using the ever-iconic Quake. That game was of course made by id Software, the creators of Doom for the uninitiated. Diary of a Camper still stands on a pillar of iconic Machinima content, but was joined and most likely surpassed by the legendary Red vs. Blue. With that little history segment out of the way, let's finally talk about Fortnite. Our tale begins long ago with Fortnite version 3.5, released April 11th, 2018, when most of you watching this were still drooling 12-year-olds. How do I know that? Because I was one of them! Either way, it was with this update that replay mode was added. I know, it's just a little bit crazy that Fortnite was out for as long as it was without this now iconic feature, but its release was certainly something. Here are some clips I found from day one to show you what was being made back then. After letting the community mess around for a few days, Epic gave us a challenge. Announced on April 13th, 2018, was the Replay Royale, a tournament of who could make the best replay movie in the next 14 days. Entries ended on the 27th, and the winner was announced on May 4th, that being Enzyte with the short film Revenge. And man, that short brings back so many memories. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. It is linked down in the description, but here is a clip. Another contest was held in Season 4, announced July 2nd, 2018. The community had to make a superhero-themed short film for the Blockbuster Replay Challenge. The winner would be the iconic Prepare for Collision by Janthony. Another thing I recommend everyone who hasn't seen it to watch. But all of the contestants in these short film challenges would soon be simply goldfish in a much larger pond. A week after the winners of the original Replay Royale were announced, an 8-minute video would be posted with the title, "Never Shoot John Wick Ever," a Fortnite short film, released by the channel Newscape Pro Fortnite Shorts. A big name from the Minecraft roleplay scene had just entered this new Fortnite world. It's truly an iconic video that everyone should have seen, but I will warn you all, it certainly hasn't aged the greatest. The humor is 100% 2018 coded, but there's still something lovable about it. NSP would release another 3 shorts before player number 2 would step into the ring. On May 18th, a week after NSP released their first short, a video would be released by another channel titled "Never Shoot John Wick's Llama," Fortnite short. This one was by LL Fortnite, also known as Little Lizard, another big Minecraft roleplay channel. Now, I could speculate day after day, all night, whether or not Little Lizard saw how good Newscape Pro's video did and decided to throw their hat into the ring. But that doesn't really matter. What does matter is that we now have 2 big boys from another community making Fortnite shorts, and their first uploads would not be the only shared episode concepts. They both featured heavy use of noob characters. NSP had their early main character Steve, and LL focused more on tormenting noobs in general. John Wick was also a shared muse, with 2 very different takes on the character. One of the more obvious shared ideas was John Wick stealing Omega's armor. Newscape Pro's video came out on June 22nd, while Little Lizard's came out on June 26th. These videos are fundamentally different, though. LL Omega is actually a brooding villain who gets his armor properly stolen, while NSP Omega loses a single fight to John Wick and gives up his armor like a coward. Omega, Carbide, the Visitor, and Drift were also incredibly common characters that would long outlast their seasons. Due to the ages these series were intended for, there was also a lot of romance subplots, or, well, just outright plots a lot of the time. Little Lizard love stories were sorta outright cringy, while Newscape Pro was kinda hit or miss. You could have an amazing Ice King and Fira episode, or you could have the very cringe early Steve and Stunstrider episodes. LL was also admittedly a little more serious from the start, while NSP was far goofier, and has an Omega lover. I liked my boy in NSP. He has some great moments, some of my favorites being like in Season 6, where he owns the Fatal Fields farm, and has the murderous scarecrow Cletus running around.
Wow, I'm so glad to know that scarecrows aren't aggressive towards anyone.
No, I never said that. My brother, Cletus, he would have killed you right away. He would have just stabbed you right in the face. It's a good thing you didn't run into him out here.
Oh.
Or in Season 7, when he starts the Lynx fan club, which is just an insane plot point, all things considered.
As you all know, Lynx is the best superhero ever. She's been crowned as such by John Wick, and she's super hot. We are blessed to have Lynx, and we need to show her that we care. I think I speak for all of us when I say Lynx has changed our lives for the better just by being there. When I got my wisdom teeth out, I thought about Lynx. Made the swelling go down. When my toilet was clogged, I thought about Lynx, and it made it unclogged. Plunger helped too, but mostly thinking about Lynx. And when I'm staring at my Lynx poster, I like to think maybe Lynx is staring at a poster of me. Now we should all aspire to be more like Lynx. What do you say, gang? Seriously? You're the only one who came?
That's without bringing up, like, later with the return of Rachel 5 and her being a Lynx fake and all that. That whole arc is just a weird one for Omega, but it is memorable nonetheless.
I'm not done yet, Lynx. I'll be back.
And when I'm back, you'll feel my full wrath! A new villain has risen! I'm tired of you getting all the attention! The dawn of Dinks! The new era has begun! Dinks That has a ring to it.
But beyond that, LL truly did manage to make Omega the supervillain he was destined to be early on.
That was a long time ago. Things have changed since then.
Yes, they have. Let us skip this trip down memory lane, Wick. I want to make you an offer.
An offer? What kind of offer could you possibly make?
I want my old duo partner back. Join me, Wick, and we will take over this island and destroy all of the noobs once and for all.
Not in a million years, Omega. You game end people without a second thought. You'd rather loot than revive a teammate. I'd choose any of those noobs over you any day.
So be it, Wick. I'll see you on the battlefield.
These two would end up fundamentally shifting away from each other, however. NSP's story went on to have far more life than LL, at least in my opinion, especially during the Season 7 to X era, where the story would all be continuous and building off prior events. Of course, some of those plots would be short-lived or even outright backtracked, like the death of the Ice King.
Anyways, we all know who the real king around here is. Me.
The Age of Kings is over, or haven't you heard?
But it sort of worked out in the end. Both of these channels continued until around a year or two before this video was going to be coming out. Both quit a few times and then came back, but as I'm writing this, neither has uploaded in over a year. I could also bring up channels like Fort Shorts or Fortnite Cinema, but they've never really reached the level of NSP or LL, but shoutouts to them. They are still very cool channels. It's just, these two are the most obviously notable in the Machinima space. With that little bit of lore and history out of the way, let's talk about how these videos were actually created. Back in the OG days, they were made mainly in normal matches, hence why the storm can commonly be seen moving around in the background. Then Epic added Playground, which helped greatly for a while, before it was removed again, and soon replaced with Creative, which was just big uppies. It also should be mentioned that certain creators were given private matches back then, which I'm guessing both LL and NSP had access to around Season 5 and 6. Either way, after Playground was added, it was possible for people to go onto the island to film these without being bothered by other players or the storm. Creative made it even easier, since you could just spawn whatever weapons you needed for whichever shot. Then Creative Royale popped up and made everything that much more easier. I can attest to that. Truly a golden era where anyone could make a short or a skit without too much work. But this era of ease would soon come to a sad end. December 3rd, 2023, the release of Chapter 5. Creative Royale was disabled, assumedly due to issues with the new map, but it would go on to never return. Half a year later, on May 2nd, 2024, Epic confirmed it would not return, as it was eating up too much development that would be moved to UEFN. Now, I'm about to get into some schizo conspiracy theory here, but another reason I think this may have been removed is simply because you could do all sorts of camera glitches and weird stuff to get under the map and find things that should have remained hidden. Now, whether or not Epic disliked people finding stuff below the map, such as back all the way in Season 7 when people glitched into the Dragon Egg room under the castle and found, the prisoner and all that weeks ahead of time, I don't know. I have always heard the story being that, in reality, they just didn't like people going under the map and finding spoilers, but with the amount of data mining that happens in this community, I don't know, I feel like we're gonna find out either way. Either way, without a way to gain private access to the island, all stories would have to be told on custom maps or done in custom games that still had the issues they had back in the day, mainly the storm limiting your time and being restricted to that season's loot pool. This change seemingly caused the true nail to be put in LL and NSP's coffins, as they both didn't upload much after this. I myself had to end my series Shadows Rising because of this change, as it's just so much work with so few people to make it all come together. Me and Fusion did all of the acting in those 4 episodes, and I did all of the voice acting, camera work, editing, everything. I even had the story all planned out, and I do plan on making a video about everything that was gonna happen, because, I don't know, I feel like sharing it, because, it'd be cool to tell you all what was gonna happen, with the whole Ageless and Geno and Kato thing, and how all 3 of them are sort of related. That's for that video, though. But because of that, that's just about where this story ends. Short film content was something Epic once challenged the community to make with 2 massive community contests. Then we saw the rise of the short film fanbase, before Epic finally decided to remove the easiest way to make these spectacles. Somewhere deep down, I do still hold out hope that maybe Creative Royale will eventually return. But that hope fades as more seasons pass, and I lose even more interest in Fortnite. I kind of feel like Kratos and God of War won with this, I feel like I need to go over to a cliff or something and just yell, "Epic! Give me Kasane Teto and my $20 is yours!" Ahem. This isn't to say the genre is dead, however. Some smaller channels are throwing their hats into the ring with more success, and are emulating the NSP style incredibly well, like Fortflix, who I found while getting footage for this video. I highly recommend checking them out if you'd like to support the future of this fading genre, because it seems like they're pretty cool. And that just about brings us to the end of this video. I do apologize if I got any information wrong. Most of the research was done at midnight while I blasted Kasane Teto music into my ears. I also think it could be fun to do a full retrospective of the LL versus NSP series, how they both changed and what they did. So, if you'd like to see that, let me know and consider subscribing, because that might be a thing I do. You'll kind of want to know. In fact, I've been thinking about it since I wrote this script. It's been about a day between the writing and the recording of it. I'm now beginning to wonder if maybe me and Fusion should do like a watch through of the series. I don't know if I could post like a video or like videos of us just watching the series. I don't know if YouTube's copyright system would be okay with that. You know what I mean? I'm a little hesitant because, there's a high chance that YouTube's copyright system just goes, "You can't upload this. It has footage from another creator in it, and you're watching the full video." But, at the same time, we're idiots who are gonna, pause and laugh and giggle and yap about things about what we're watching the whole time. And I have not seen the full series of NSP. I basically watched all the way up till Chapter 2 came out, and then, I just sort of fell off. The story wasn't interesting, but some mad lad on YouTube has made a full playlist across all 4 of their channels of everything in order, so, it might be a fun thing to do. I'd have to figure out the logistics of it, but I've just been thinking about that since I wrote this script, that, man, it could be fun to just sit and watch the full series, yap about it a little bit, take the piss out of some parts that are a little more cringy, and then when it's all over, do a full breakdown of where they went wrong with their story and why a lot of people like myself fell off from it after a while. But yeah, beyond that yapalotl session, if you have enjoyed the video, consider hitting the like button down below, because it tells me that you like the video. And if you like what I do and you want more of it, consider subscribing for more. And if you'd like to know whenever I upload, consider hitting the little bell to get notified whenever I do so. With that, I will see you all next time.